let us discuss the answer of this question. Doppler shift type ultrasonic flow meters are exclusively used if the fluid has suspended particles or the dirt particles. Now, let us consider a pipe whose diameter is d. It is a cylindrical pipe, and inside that the fluid is flowing with the velocity v, and there are so many suspended particles or dirt particles, and here major concern or the constraint is we should assume that even all these suspended particles are flowing with the same velocity, that is equal to velocity of the fluid. Suppose if the velocity of the fluid and the suspended particle velocity, if both of these two are different, then we should consider the relative velocity. But for time being, let us assume that the velocity of the fluid particles as well as the suspended particles both are same, and that is equal to v meter per second. Now, how we do in this case is, we are going to have a cylindrical pipe like this. Let us consider that this is the cylindrical pipe, and just above this cylindrical pipe we are going to have a transmitter and receiver. Transmitter will be fixed here and receiver will be fixed at back side. So both are going to be piezoelectric sensors, and they can transmit the signal as well as they can receive even the signal also. Now, when the transmitter is placed here, if we excite or energize the transmitter, then it will going to send the ultrasonic wave, and this ultrasound wave will transmit into the medium. Whenever it catches the or whenever it touches the solid particle, then it will going to revert back to the receiver. So that means if you look at here, it is going to be like V shape, because the transmitter will be here and the receiver will be here. So when the transmitter will going to release the signal like this, and here we are going to have suspended particle. Once the suspended particle receives the signal from the transmitter, then it will going to emit in all directions. It will scatter the wave in all directions, and one wave will going to transmit in this way to the receiver. Suppose apart from this fluid particle, if we have one more particle here, then this particular signal will be scattered by this particle. Clear? So that means in the wave direction, whatever the particle is there, that particle will going to respond to that particular wave. This is the primary point which you need to remember. Now, as we assumed that we have only one particular solid particle, suspended particle in this line, there is no particle here, no particle here, no particle here. So transmitter will going to generate the signal with some frequency. Let me say the transmitter frequency, or the transmitter is generating a signal, ultrasound signal with some frequency. Suppose let us consider like this. Then once it touches the receiver, suspended particle, then this will going to scatter in all directions. Now we assumed that in this entire line we have only this suspended particle. We don't have any other suspended particle here, right? Now this will going to scatter in all directions, and one of the wave will going to transmit from here to the receiver, and the frequency of this wave will be different generally. So what we do is, we will take the difference between these two frequencies, and the difference between these two frequencies is actually called as a Doppler shift in frequency, or simply Doppler shift. Usually this Doppler shift or the shift in frequency is related to the fluid velocity. How is it possible? To understand that, one should go through the basic Doppler effect that you might studied in your higher standard or secondary standard schools, that about the Doppler effect, right? So in Doppler effect, we are going to have two objects. One is moving object and the another one is stationary one. So that means the stationary source and moving object. Second time, stationary object and moving source, right? So different theories will be there. Suppose in the first case, when the ultrasound signal is transmitted from the transmitter to the suspended particle, then the frequency of ultrasound wave which is coming from the transmitter, let me consider that as a F1, this one. And when it hits this suspended particle, now the suspended particle will going to scatter in the wave in all directions with a different frequency. Let us say that is F dash, F dash, F dash, F dash. So that F dash, because in this particular case, source is fixed. Source means the one which is generating the wave, that is fixed, and the observer is moving. In this case, from the Doppler effect concept, we can say the frequency of the wave which is scattered by the moving observer can be given as C plus V cos theta by C into F1, where C is nothing but the velocity of this wave in the medium, ultrasound wave in the medium, and V is the velocity of the fluid, and theta is nothing but the angle between the velocity of the ultrasound and the velocity of the fluid particle. Clear? So that is theta. Now this F dash, that is the frequency of the wave scattered by this suspended particle, can be given as C plus V cos theta by C into F1. Now when it comes to F2, that means once the wave is scattered by this moving observer, then it will going to transmit in all directions. As we have receiver at fixed position, one of the scattered wave will going to reach to the receiver. Right? So when the receiver is receiving the signal, the frequency of this signal is going to be F2. That means F dash and F2 will not be same again. And in this particular case, now the source is moving, because in the second case, the suspended particle will be called as a source and this is going to be called as observer. So the source is moving in the second case and the observer is fixed. In that case, we can write down the frequency received by the observer can be given as C by C minus V cos theta into the source frequency in the second case, that is F2. If you use 1 and 2 equations, then F2 will going to become C plus V cos theta by C minus V cos theta into F1. If you use a simple math, you will be able to get this one. And from here, with us 2 more steps, you will be able to receive delta F, that is the difference in these two frequencies, that is F2 minus F1, can be given as 2 cos theta by C after simplification into V. Now the great thing about this relation is, once we calculate delta F with some electronic circuit, then there is a chance to measure the velocity of the fluid. How is it possible? So the velocity of the fluid from here, it can be written as delta F into C by 2 times of cos theta. Correct? So if you know the value of delta F, if you can calculate, then you already know the value of C, you know the value of theta. If you substitute all these things, then you will be able to find the fluid velocity. This particular setup or the flow meter is useful if the fluid has suspended particle or dirt particles, number 1. Number 2, that is, there will be so many scattering losses here. The reason is, once this particle scatter the wave in all direction, this wave can hit some other particle and that will again transmit one more wave, and finally at the receiver side we will going to have some noise or some error at the receiver side. But with the help of a predefined calibration, somehow we will be able to eliminate the error to get accurate results in the output. Now what I would like to say here is, we understood that the velocity is now going to depend on delta F. The question is how we can calculate delta F electronically, that means in instrumentation, right? So as I said earlier, this transmitter will going to release the signal and receiver will going to catch the signal. At transmitter, the frequency is noted, that means everybody will be able to know what is the frequency F1, right? And here we will going to have some frequency of the signal. Suppose let us say at the receiver side we are getting some pulses here, and the frequency of these pulses like this, let us say these are the pulses we are getting at the receiver side, and the frequency of these pulses will be given as F2. So after that we are going to have electronic circuitry. Inside this electronic circuitry, we will convert the frequency into voltage by using any of frequency to voltage converter ICs, that is ICLM 555 or 331. So we are having different ICs which can convert the information of frequency into voltage. So that means this frequency will be converted into some voltage, let us say that is V2, and here the frequency will be converted into V1. Now in electronic circuitry, we will take the difference between V2 and V1 by using an operational amplifier subtractor, right? So once we take the difference in these two voltages, then we will be able to find delta V, which is equal to V2 minus V1, or yes, V2 minus V1. Once we calculate the V2 minus V1, that is differential voltage or the difference in the voltage, as there is a relation between V2 and F2 and V1 and F1, then we will going to have some relation, that is delta V is somehow related to the differential frequency. So once we calculate the difference in voltage, by dividing with this proper constant, we will be able to find delta F. And that delta F will be used in this particular expression to find out the value of velocity of the fluid. And this velocity of all these calculations will be done by electronic circuits or simple processors. At the end, the velocity of the fluid will be indicated on display device. Clear? In electronic circuitry, frequency to voltage converter will be used. But in general, there are different approaches are there, different methods are there. Practically, many things will come into the picture. So we need to overcome all the challenges in practical environment if you use the different methods. But one thing it is sure that the scattering losses will be more. Here, the finest assumption here is the ray is transferring from here to here without any obstruction. Suppose in between that, if you have one more fluid particle here, then what will going to happen? If we have fluid particle here, again the velocity of this fluid particle is same, v. When it hits this one, then this will going to transmit the or scatters the wave, and one of this scattered wave will come to the receiver. So that means any particular particle which is there in the line of ultrasound, that will going to react as an observer in the first case and as a source in the second case.
Hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and if you want to find more of this kind of questions, connect to my channel. Namaste.